TV.
Ladies, gentlemen, welcome, welcome, welcome. This is Special Andre, and now I'm going to present you a small how-to tutorial to use XSplit. Right now, you should see 5 dancing Murlocs and a big Thor in the background, but not anymore because I want to show you the settings for the XSplit, the low quality settings, the HD settings if you want to stream in 720p, and all the other important things you have to pay attention to. So let's first go to the settings tab. So if you have XSplit open and you're in the options and you're adding a stream right now, you can do those things. You have the manual in bottom left right now, or you can go to directly supported streaming providers like Justin TV, like Ustream, like Own3D TV, where you do not need to pay attention what is the RTMP URL, what is the stream name. You just can type in your username, your password, and everything else will be automatically set by Ustream. But I don't want to talk about those specific streaming providers. I want to talk about this in general. So at first, let's check out the middle right now. We see the HD tab, and if we go for a custom RTMP server, for example, like SC Streams and all those other streaming providers like Own3D, Ustream, etc., provide those important streaming data like the RTMP URL, like the stream name. So at first in the top line you can see name, and this is basically your stream name, whatever you want to call it. Special Andre stream, my Dragon Slayer 84 stream, whatever floats your boat in that regard. The description, of course, describe it whatever you want. Now the RTMP URL will be provided by your streaming provider, same as the stream name. The stream name is not something like super stream name blah blah blah. It should be given by your streaming provider as well. You need both the RTMP URL and the stream name to properly start some broadcasting. Now the share link is basically the link you want to share the stream to. For example, when my stream is going on, I refer to people to check my webpage out at andre.com, so that's why I'm going for the www.andre.com there. You can ignore the user agent tab, and now we are going to the video encoding, and this is the most important thing. You can let the preset to have the XSplit default. So if you have a good enough computer, and I will talk about what is good enough, what might not be good enough, you can set the quality to 8. It's not necessary to go for 9 or 10. You don't want to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as well, and you can set the max bitrate to 2000 kilobits per second. That means you will be streaming at 2 megabits per second with the video encoding. You can set the buffer to double the size of the bitrate you're streaming on. This will most likely get automatically set by XSplit anyway. And for the resolution, let the default stage resolution like it be there. I will talk later about a little bit about that as well. So let's take a look at the audio encoding. There you always should go for the 16-bit stereo at the 44 kilohertz and as a bitrate of 96,000 bits. And then you will have a HD stream up and running already. If you do not have the best CPU, you of course have to check, might try the quality, reduce it from 8 to 6. It is only a minor difference between 8 and 6, but it does not use so much hardware resources. So if you want to have an SD stream because you do not have the maximum bitrate to provide an HD stream, or if your computer hardware is just not good enough to provide a constant high enough frame rate for some HD streaming, go for the SD stream, and there you see the quality setting is 6. The maximum bitrate is 500 kilobits, and that's why the buffer is still double, so it's 1,000 kilobits there. The audio encoding should always be the same. It's not that much what the audio takes, and 96,000 bits is okay per second at a 44 kilohertz stereo. Make sure to use the stereo. Do not go for the mono there. So, and now we saw already the main settings to go for an HD stream, to go for an SD stream. What about the resolutions? So here we are in the resolution steps. When we take a look at the options for XSplit, we see there are already a lot of preset resolutions, saying how many, what the ratio of the resolution is, and what it is used in, for example. And here are some examples in the top left. You can check at your own resolution as well. I just made an example here with the elite resolution. You just can set up everything you want. XSplit supports up to a resolution of 4,000 something to 2,000 something resolutions, but in terms of normal streaming from your home or from wherever you want to stream or from, the resolution XSplit currently supports are absolutely more than enough. If you want to stream for really high resolutions, you will go for some other solutions in terms of hardware anyways. But this is not what concerns us. So now for the general options. We get different options here. For the general tab as well here on the bottom left, let XSplit disable aero theme is for Vista and for Windows 7 users. You can do this if you might have some problems here, because if the Vista aero theme is disabled, you free up additional hardware resources. So if you're having some problems with your stream not running smoothly enough, you can do a check here on the disabling. And as soon as XSplit realizes, okay, stream is not running perfectly, it automatically disables the aero theme for Vista and Windows 7. Then you can check enable virtual camera output. Doesn't really have to concern you. Still can go for some virtual stuff in terms of cameras, webcams in there anyway, so this doesn't have to concern you. As well the Skype interaction, but make XSplit a layered window is do not check this box if you're having hardware issues. This will basically cost you a little bit more of hardware resources. Then for the audio microphone, I personally use a virtual audio cable. I like the settings there a little bit more. It does not necessarily have to do this, so if you have a microphone plugged into a computer via the old school adapters or via USB, you can choose this as well. I like to choose the virtual audio cable because I have some other sound settings there, but it's just whatever floats your boat. Go for the normal microphone, is no problem at all. With XSplit you can also not only stream to the whole wide world via the internet, you can local record some stuff, some presentations, some streams as well, and maybe upload later on or share them with your business partners, with your friends, with the community later on, without actually publishing them right away. So local broadcasting is also a possibility here. Now let's go for the View tab. If you check out XSplit, there is this View tab. You can see, let's just go one picture one after another. At first, the resolution. Let's just go back here 1 second to this last tab. Bam. We see on the top left those resolutions. There are some of them are checked. Most of those resolutions are unchecked right now, and only the resolutions which are checked will be actually be shown here in the top left. So because in the resolutions tab at the view button you actually decide which resolution is broadcasted. I currently broadcasting in 7020p HD, which is the standard HD TV HD ready video format at the moment, and You can choose lower resolutions if you, for example, want to stream in a lower resolution for whatever reason. You can say, for example, half of the resolutions you're currently using is something you should start with. Of course, you always have to check it out yourself, because there are so millions of different computer variations out there. Another graphic cards, another hard disk, another CPU, and of course the CPU is the most important thing to streaming right now, because the CPU will be used the most. So the better your CPU actually is, the better quality you will be able to stream in. So 7020p HD is a good thing. Most of the streamers nowadays stream in that resolution, but if you do not have enough bandwidth or do not have enough hardware power, just try to lower the resolution. And if you want to stream in SD, you just start with the half of the resolution you're currently using on your desktop, on your game what you're playing, or on the presentation you're planning to go for. Then on the top right, we see the frame rate. I currently stream at 30 FPS. It is a good thing to stream at 30 FPS. You can go down to 25, but at the moment there's no need to go higher than 30 FPS or to go lower than 25 FPS, because it is not you playing a game. You want to have the perfect HD stream, not HD stream. It's not like you're watching HD television on your 120 Hertz TV. This is just for the streaming purposes, so 25 to 30 FPS should be absolutely sufficient. Then we see the scale port is shown there as well, and the scale port is basically let me just check. I can show you here right now. You should be seeing dancing murlocs. And by the way, speaking of dancing murlocs, so enough with this. So you see this big window of XSplit here, and now it's relatively big. It is actually the resolution the viewer sees when the stream is watched. So you can go for the scale port and just go, for example, to 50%. Now the XSplit window is much smaller, but it doesn't change the resolution. And the smaller the XSplit window is, the less hardware resources will be used of your computer. And if you minimize it, there will be no additional hardware resources used to show this. So always, if you're not need to pay attention to what's directly going on the stream, and just set your things once, just go for the minimize of the XSplit. So now let me come back to my PC specs I currently have, so you can have some sort of information about what my PC specs are and how I will be able to stream on 7020p in HD right now. So my current specs are, oops, wrong button. Here we go. I have an i7 Sandy Bridge second generation 2600K processor. I have an SSD and two main HDs. This reason why I bought a second hard disk, of course, some more storage space, but also to be able to record on multiple hard drives at once. The SSD is, for example, I am a StarCraft 2 caster, and when I do some live casts with the games, I do not want to be the last player loaded. I always want to be one of the first finished with the loading screen, because I do not want the players to wait, because my slow computer is slowing down the loading process. So that's why I got the SSD as well. I got 8 gigs of RAM, of course. I got a Radeon HD 5870. It is a very good graphics card. It's still already 1.5 year old, but still absolutely awesome, top notch for the needs for me. Most important thing, and that's why I recently bought me this Intel i7 Sandy Bridge processor, which is of course super important. Make sure when you buy a new CPU that your new motherboard also supports the USB 3, which is not super important for streaming right now, but just in terms for the future, USB 3 is so much way faster than USB 2 actually. So, but the most important thing is the processor, is the CPU. For example, I had another CPU before I actually did. No, I was having a Core to do E6750. I was still able to stream in HD, but it was not very pleasant. I felt there was some, not just saying lags, I'm not saying choppy, but it was just not smooth. And I had to disable any other programs running right now, and with this new processor, everything works out just fine in that regard. So, I talked about the specs. Now let me tell you a little bit how to set up a screen, how to just go for some transition, how to show the people, for example, some banners, and there are a couple of games you actually can do. So now if you, for example, want to add the screen, so everybody, you should see my logo in the top, you should see my current screen in the bottom left, and something that does not concern you right now, I actually am able to disable this. Boom, here we go. So right now, if you, for example, want to add the screen region. On the bottom left, you go add source, you can go add screen region, and then you will just be able to choose a region you want to be shown here. And for example, now I'm taking the top left, this weapon of the Thor. Now here I have the screen region. I can make it a little bit bigger, I can make it a little bit smaller, I can move it around the screen. It is no problem at all. And for example, when I move my mouse here over to the top left, you should see the mouse in the bottom right of the stream right now, because it is just the capture of the screen. You can take the whole screen, you can take only a part of the screen. So if you want people, for example, not to see your taskbar or something like this, is also a good thing to have. Even though, for example, here's the taskbar, you can move it around anywhere else if you want, but if you, for example, have a second monitor, and if not, you just can cut off the stream here on the screen region, and people will not be able to see this. So let me just get rid of the screen region once again. Then what else can we do? We have those in the bottom right. We have those different presentations right now. For example, I have my banner. I have to, for example, my when I'm streaming, and I want people to wait a couple of seconds, or I need to do something on the stream which everybody should not necessarily see. I just have a picture here and put everybody on the waiting screen. And how to do this? This is very simple. You can go for the add. You can add a media file, and then a media file will, for example, be added. And I had some pictures prepared I showed for you for the tutorial. So here we can go add this picture. There is the picture, we can make it a little bit bigger once again, and here we go. You can add GIFs as well, it is no problems. For example, let us add a GIF here with a transparent background, and now we have the Dancing Murloc. Dancing Murloc is pretty happy about being on stream right now, and he's even saying something like, and Murloc, of course, are awesome creatures. So, beside from that, you can also add some webcams you have connected to your computer, or you can insert some webcams via Skype if you're having a conference, or you want to go for a presentation, want to go for a show. For example, here it is says add camera, so I'm just checking my webcam. and here is the webcam picture. You can make it a little bit bigger. You can put it in the front of a building, of another picture. You can put it in the background, for example. This is just my webcam, how I use it. This is my second monitor, for example. But and if you want to only show a part of the webcam, you can just have a priority here. Just use the webcam, put it down a little bit, and then we, for example, have the Murloc now in the front and the webcam in the background, so you can still go for some backgroundish action and have the Murloc dancing around there as a logo. So everything like this is possible. Of course, if you want, you can play around a little bit with the colors as well, with the positioning. There's some fancy tricks in there for XSplit. So let me just add the screen region here once again. Now, here are, for example, different color sets we can do to change the brightness, change the contrast of the picture, and you just can play around with this. It should be no problem just to try new stuff out. Of course, if you played a little bit too much with it, you can reset everything. Should be no big deal. Here we have a blue special Andre, we have purple special Andre, we even have pink special Andre. So a lot of stuff you can do with the colors of each individual source. You can change the colors of the screen region you are currently capturing as well. Here are the colors there, and there we can change the colors, change the brightness, change the overall color. So now the Thor is now all bluish and grayish and beige, or a little bit more green and pink. You just can play around with this until you found the proper presentation. So now let me show you one more thing. It is the positioning of each source you are able to add on XSplit. You can go for the width, the height positioning here as well, and just make it a little bit bigger, make it a little bit smaller, move it from the left to the side, from the bottom to the top as well. And you even can rotate the sources. For example, oh yeah, 360 from the left to the right, from the top to the bottom is possible as well. And you even can go for both at the same time and rotate as much as you want in that regard, even from the left to the right. But let me just reset it. And one more thing you can do in that regard is the cropping. You just can crop off parts of a source with no problem as well. Now we see Special Andre is gone, now he is back again. And of course there are a lot of possibilities to do this. You can of course combine all those things together once again here. And this is possible with every resource, with every source you go for. You can either go for the screen region, you can go for the webcam, you can do this with the media files. You can have the Murloc dancing around upside down on the top of the screen, and everything is possible. You can also add videos which will be played on XSplit. You can even loop them. You can go for sounds as well. And for example, when I stream, and sometimes when there is for StarCraft 2, when there's a Hellion drop in the back and all those workers get attacked, I just switch to this second overlay, and there's this GIF playing, and all the workers are just running around like crazy in the mineral line going for the OMG, oh no's, etc, etc. So, and then I can switch back to the main screen. Of course you can, oops, I need to reset this. So here we go. Of course, what else can you do in this regard is apply hotkeys. You can have a different set of hotkeys for each scene. So we have 12 scenes here in total, and this all those 12 scenes are called a presentation. Then you can load up new presentations, so you got a lot of possibilities, basically infinite possibilities just to have a presentation on the screen. And And then to go for those three resources here, you can adjust the volume of your microphone. Now you should be able to hear me. Now you should not be able to hear me, but no, you actually should be, because I decided to use virtual audio cable. But if you just directly mute in, put in your microphone, should be all fine. Then you can just decide if the audience will not be able to hear any background sound. If you're playing any music or something like this, click there once and nobody will able to hear any more sounds. And yeah, one last thing is the live ticker, the scroll bar, the title. And now you can go for the add title. Then you will have this interesting option field. Currently you're not seeing it on this stream, but there just pops a config file on. You can type in something, and just you can decide if there will be some scrolling or not. You just can rearrange this, makes it a little bit smaller, can make it a little bit bigger. You can you will be able to see this. You can change the color, you can change the position of it as always, and you can also configure it with the change of the font. For example, I like the stencil font quite a lot. I can go for it. It's the same font used, for example, for the A team. You can decide if there will be some scrolling or not. You can have the font be bold, you can have it a little bit transparent or not, and you can do basically as much as you want with it, and you are very flexible. So yeah, that's basically about it. I hope you found this helpful. It's actually the first time I made a tutorial of this kind. And if you got any questions, hit me up on facebook.com/specialandre. It is basically my Facebook page, and there you can go for questions. You can see my webpage, andre.com. And yeah, that's basically about it. We'll be uploading this on SC Streams. We'll be uploading this on YouTube. And like I said, I hope you find this helpful. And see you guys and girls next time.